When feminism and multiculturalism clash, who wins? I'm Claire Lehman for the Rebel.media. Last week, a shouting match erupted on Australian TV. The shouting match occurred between Senator Jackie Lambie and a Muslim activist named Yasmin Abdel-Magied.
Do you know what Sharia law is?
Yes, but it does not have
Do you
equal
know
rights.
what it is?
Me praying five Sharia law?
Of course, me praying 5 times a day is Sharia.
Okay.
Right? Like basic.
What about the equal rights for women? What about
That is completely separate from Islam.
so now you can be a Sharia law supporter and be half pregnant at the same time.
What are you talking about?
Following this, media site Junkie released a video by Abdel-Magied called "What is Sharia Anyway?" It was a complete whitewashing of Sharia law, and it was presented to a young Australian audience.
Sharia is not a system of laws like Australia's legal system is a series of laws that everybody must obey. Sharia is about a Muslim's personal relationship with their God. It's about justice and equality, and it's dynamic and fluid and open to interpretation. But there are sometimes misunderstandings. So let's address some of the really obvious issues. Last night, I said that Islam was a feminist religion. And some people found that hard to understand. But what is really important to understand is the difference between religion and culture.
Now, what's interesting about this is that Jackie Lambie has been roundly attacked and ridiculed for being apparently racist, while Abdel-Magied's nonsensical claims about Sharia not being a system of law and Islam being the most feminist religion in the world have been taken seriously. And there has been very little feminist response. It's not like Australians don't have a strong feminist movement. Feminism is huge here. We have dozens of columnists who churn out articles every week on women's issues. Our former Prime Minister, Tony Abbott, was ridiculed for winking about a woman during a radio interview a couple of years ago. There were thousands of outraged tweets in response to this wink, so you would think that there might be some feminist response to the claim that Islam is a feminist religion. Now, this is not a defense of Tony Abbott. I simply want to point out that those who are most hypersensitive about women's issues consistently fall silent whenever Islam enters the picture. It seems that in all Western countries, when feminism clashes with multiculturalism wins. The response of Australian feminists is often to say that they care more about Australian women, not women residing overseas. But this doesn't hold up to scrutiny. A recent report was released on the prevalence of female genital mutilation here in Australia. It showed that the practice was more common than previously thought, and that girls suffering from it required complex care in our hospitals. There were no marches in the street about this. And this is happening to Australian girls. However, we did have a women's march in Sydney as a response to Donald Trump's election. Of course, this double standard is not unique to Australia. The Swedish government, which is proudly feminist, openly mocked Donald Trump recently with a staged photo imitating the signing of his executive orders. Yet, in a matter of days, this very same government were in Iran wearing hijabs, and there was no mocking going on there. This double standard is rarely acknowledged, but it has insidious consequences, particularly when the safety of girls is ignored or when the abuses committed by men who come from minority groups are swept under the rug. This occurred in Rotherham, UK, and it occurred in Cologne, Germany. We are likely to see it again, as long as privileged Westerners prefer to bury their heads in the sand. I'm Claire Lehman for the Rebel.media. For more, please click on the link below to subscribe.